Hello Guardians, this is Alchemist, and I'm going to teach you how to get your Riven's token as fast as possible. To get your Wish token fast, you're going to be balancing between Aphelios Rest and waiting for the public event. To finish Aphelios Rest as fast as possible, what you're going to do is going to grapple to the top of the end part and swing to it, and then also defeat the boss. Once the boss has been defeated, you can go out and then reset the load zone. Wash, rinse, and repeat, and there you go. You'll be able to finish up your Dreaming City progress in no time flat. With that, I have some recommendations for the Wish token. I would not recommend using it on any exotics, especially since we have Vex incursion zones, as well as many other ways to get it, including lost sectors. I would only use this method if you are a free-to-play player that can't access these exotics currently. This is a good way to catch up to the other people in the meta. But at that out the way, you have two options. You could use it on mementos, or you could use it on weapons, which will increase the strength of your account. It's up to you, fashion or function. With that said, however, I do have a weapon priority list, depending on what aspect you favor more, PvE or PvP. Starting out with PvE, I think the one that leads the pack is Apex Predator with its reconstruction and bait and switch role. You can certainly not go wrong with this role, especially if you've been missing out on the decent rocket launcher options. This includes things like Krug's Termination, among other things. Next up is the Supremacy Sniper Rifle with rewind rounds and bait and switch. This sniper rifle has access to bait and switch and rewind rounds, which allow it to shoot consistently while having a hefty 35% damage bonus added to it. This also can help combo with Apex Predator if you want to do some sort of bait and switch combination, or if you want to use another exotic, or if Izanagi's is a little too hard for you. Next up is Nation of Beasts, and I think the best role overall for it is Dragonfly and Explosive Payload. This bad boy is strong enough to keep your Ikelos in your vault until seasonal artifact mods favor some machine guns. Next up is Tyranny of Heaven with Dragonfly and Incandescent. The room clearing potential on this bow alone is off the charts, and you could also have a room for an upgrade path by using Explosive Head and Incandescent if you want to use it in higher endgame content. Next up is Age-Old Bond with Repulsor Brace and Destabilizing Rounds. This is an overall decent option if you want to have a little bit of overshield with your volatile abilities or further the chemistry of your own void building needs. You could also go with 4 times the charm target lock for much more endgame content if you prefer. Now I suppose you're wondering in this chart why isn't Tekken forcing the PvE options? And the reason being is that Loaded Question exists, and I would rather you not waste a Wish token when there's a much stronger alternative out there that you can go and farm for. Loaded Question decked out with Overflow and Controlled Burst I think is more than enough for you to supply. For you PvP folk, it's pretty straightforward. Chattering Bone has a godly combo of Kill Clip and Head Seeker, making you easier to hit your shots while also having a damage boosting perk that will reward you for going aggressive. It is an absolute nutso combo, and the ranges that this weapon can hit are absolutely nuts. Craft this roll and go give it a run. Next up beside it is Nation of Beasts with Keep Away and Explosive Payload. It's pretty decent, however it is competing with other weapons. There's Rose, there's Freightbringer, and even Spare Rations is coming for its attention. But despite it being in a slot that is absolutely very competitive, it may be just worth a test run, maybe something just to experiment with. Next up, whilst I wouldn't vouch for Tekken Force in PvE, I think has a decent place in PvP, being a craftable fusion rifle. Under pressure is always amazing on a fusion rifle. Being able to maintain its accuracy whilst it's being in use is very good for this weapon. And we're using high impact reserves to squeeze a bit more damage out. This is an overall decent contender to work with if you don't already have a decent fusion rifle in your arsenal. So I'd suggest picking this up. Next up is Transfiguration, and this role is an absolute menace to society. Having Kill Clip and Rampage is absolutely nuts. Once you get this weapon running, it is very hard to stop. Scout weapons are typically underrated as they require certain ranges to be a lot more favorable. However, I think you'd be doing yourself a disservice if you sleep on this weapon overall. Next up is Age-Old Bond, and Tap the Trigger is there to increase its overall accuracy for the duration it's being shot with. You only need 4 crits with this bad boy to land a kill, and kill clip to keep the pain train going. It can't get any easier than that. So with that said, I hope you enjoy this video. I would like to hear your opinions and comments about my overall list and order that I put the weapons in. Perhaps you have something different. Would love to hear more about it. With that, Alchemist out.